Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Retro Wars. I'm the leader of the bunch here. You know me well. I'm just DVA, aka Biological Elite Fighters, the lovable schmuckhead, whatever you like to call me. And with me is my two faithful comrades in arms of Retro Reviewing. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Was that a Donkey Kong reference?
Don't worry about it. Just move on.
But anyways, hello everyone, your favorite crossfit fanatic here, your favorite wild card tree queen, and yes, celeb queen of the group here. You know me. So hi.
Look at that, Hazard. She finally admits she's a slut queen. Well, at least you finally admit it.
Fuck off.
At least you're getting help for it.
Alright, go ahead and introduce yourself, Hazard.
Well, you kind of said the name, but whatever. It's your lovable, sarcastic, researching bastard, Hazard of Chaos. I'm just doing my usual thing, doing the research for these two fuckers.
But you enjoy it so well.
Shut the fuck up.
Anyway, today we're here to do another episode, but as always, for those who are just coming in and watching what we do, for those who don't know what we do is we basically gather around in one sitting, binge watch the shit out of a show, all of its seasons and series and all the episodes, gather information, talk about it, and record a review for you, have some funny moments and clips in here, bits in there, all that jazz. But anyway, today we're reviewing Code Monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As you can tell, Crossover's not too keen on this because of the binge watching we did. But yeah, Code Monkeys. What's there to be said about Code Monkeys? Because it's bat fucking shit insane.
I think that's pretty much an understatement, to be honest.
I know, but it makes South Park look normal. Let's just say that.
That's saying something.
Well, no. Yeah, if you watch South Park, this is just easy peasy for you. But goddamn it, but sure, I will say it's fucking crazy, wacky, and unbelievable.
To say the least.
Alright, so let's head over to our favorite researcher. Go ahead, go on your supercomputer and tell us what you can tell us about Code Monkeys here.
One of these days, motherfucker. One of these days. Anyway, Code Monkeys is basically an American animated TV program. It was created by Adam De La Pena, who also is one of the voice actors for the series.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, because of the way the series was written, basically the plot takes place in the early '80s. Weird, I know, but hey, I didn't write the series. I didn't create it. Anywho, It was first aired back in 2007 and ended in 2008. And it was on the G4 channel at the time. While it had good reception at the start, it got mixed reviews going onward, like past season 1. And of course, by the time the topic of renewing it for season 3 came around, it was basically a no-go.
Which is a shame. It was going so well, too.
Considering some of the shit in season 2, I can't entirely fault them. And unfortunately,
And not to mention the whole G4 shutting down.
Yeah, this was around the time G4 decided to basically become more of a reality TV channel than, the video game channel was well known for.
But, yeah, basically that's what happened to the show. Want to tell us what Code Monkeys is about?
It's basically centered around video game programmers along with their boss working at a video game developing company, Gameavision. Doesn't actually exist, by the way, I checked. But anywho, this mostly centers on the craziness around characters such as Dave and Jerry, who are two of the lead programmers. God damn it. Dave is basically how I put this lightly. He is basically the lead programmer. He's lazy as hell, focuses on playing video games rather than actually making them. Also is basically a massive drug abuser. In fact, he's most guilty of basically smoking a lot of weed. Hell, even going to the point where he actually makes most of his ideas while being high. Which somehow he still
I
managed to
mean-
keep his job in the process. Don't ask how.
I mean, sometimes the most creative ideas come from being high.
You're not wrong. I think. I wouldn't know.
Anyway,
Usually, Dave
But,
is well known for not just basically the fact that he's basically a chronic weed smoker, but he tends to spend a good chunk of his time basically spending money on whores. And he's
Yeah.
usually working alongside his best friend Jerry, who, to be blunt, is a bit of a massive pussy. However, Dave is literally Dave and Jerry are basically polar opposites in terms of their work ethic. Jerry's the responsible one, and usually the one who, is a voice of reason. Unfortunately,
Basically, like your... Sorry.
Huh?
Like, it's basically like your run-of-the-mill duos that are kind of like them.
Or basically polar opposites. The sad thing is, in Jerry's case, though, he is easily influenced by Dave's bullshit. More often than not.
Basically like Hazard and Justin.
You shut your mouth.
you shut your whole mouth. So basically, this show series is about where it's a wacky-ass video game company with wacky-ass employees making video games while some of them have interesting traits. Let's go with that.
Yes, other characters include Bob Big T. Larity, who's the head of the Gameavision and a billionaire who basically bought the company, despite the fact that he literally knows nothing about video games, and only that they're sure to make him rich. Larity is all about the money, and will
he wouldn't be far.
usually go to extreme lengths to make sure he makes money at the end of the day.
I mean, he wouldn't be far off with video games nowadays. People are willing to spend a good buck on that shit.
Yeah, but Larity's so obsessed with money, he literally has a chair made out of it.
I've seen weirder chairs. I've seen a freaking guy who has a throne chair made out of skulls and bones. You think that's crazy?
Also, Larity is known to be basically violent, bigoted, misogynistic, and so on. But however, despite his stupidity, he's also surprisingly deceptive.
Yep.
And of course, he has no respect for his own employees, like any asshole boss. Yet he apparently likes Dave, Jerry, and Benny, who he sees as his own children, to a degree. Surprisingly, he also has a mutual respect thing going on with one of his own employees, Black Steve. We'll get more into that later. Then there's his son, who is basically a typical muscle-bound moron, like Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that bad of Johnny Bravo, because Johnny Bravo does think, but he mostly thinks about ladies. Dean just doesn't think.
Dean is not much better at times, though.
Yeah, but you don't see him flirting like Johnny would.
True, he doesn't even know how to flirt, as far as I can tell. But
yeah,
anyway,
just take a look at
as I
for a
said,
good example of Johnny.
he is basically Larity's son and basically the supervisor of the company. Doesn't participate in any of the programming, doesn't seem to do any actual work half the time, other than helping his dad cover up illegal activities. And also uses violence to solve his problems. So yes, muscle-bound moron indeed. He's literally the stereotype of it.
If you want a good example of how bad Johnny Bravo is, though, by the way, just take a look at my freaking All My Johnny Bravo video, and then there you go.
Pardon me, hot, sexy mama. If you'd please to take a look at my studly bod, then I may have the pleasure of you wanting to be my #1 main squeeze.
How many times do I have to tell you I have a boyfriend?
Well, you look like the kind of girl that could use two.
You look like the type of girl. How many times do I have to tell you I have a boyfriend? Well, you look like the type of girl that needs two.
God damn it. Anyway, now we move on to the next character on the list. Todd. Basically, Todd generally works on fantasy games for the company, but it's more than just that. He is the stereotypical obese adult geek gamer. Always seen wearing a horn helmet, and of course he's often somehow his life is a disturbing one, to a degree. Because apparently he lives in this, his mind is so messed up, he lives in a fantasy world that blurs the lines between fiction and, well, non-fiction, thinking that at times his life is like Dungeons and Dragons, to say the least. Because of this, he is pretty much the most hated employee at the company, and the other characters basically refer to him as a creepy douche. And apparently he has a obsession with his mother. I do not want to get into it all right now. Then we have Black Steve, who's basically the account. And here's something. He's actually the accountant, but he does have actually knowledge on video game programming. And of course, as the nickname would imply, he is literally the only black person working at the company. He is foul-mouthed, short-tempered, and despite the fact that he's the accountant, he also does, as I say, he also does make video games occasionally. Also, very fluent in Japanese, surprisingly, and was a former pro wrestler. Again, and because of, I guess, there was some kind of mutual respect established at one point in the series between Black Steve and Larity. Most over the fact that they apparently love guns. Moving on, we have Mary, the one female programmer at the company who is unfortunately not taken seriously due to the fact that she's a female. This is at Gamevision, though. I don't know if that happens in actual developer companies, but I digress. And it doesn't help that most of her fellow co-workers are basically very much sexist. And the only exception being Jerry, who is basically has a massive crush on her. However, she has turned him down repeatedly, mainly due to the fact that he's friends with Dave. Ow.
Wah, wah.
Compared to her boss and co-workers, Mary's pretty much the voice of reason half the time at Gamevision. Often accused of being a lesbian because of her strong beliefs in feminism, and a majority of the games she designs are targeted at girls or revolve around women's issues in some way. Then we have Claire, the receptionist, who's basically Mary's polar opposite personality-wise. Basically, she's a stereotypical airhead, who apparently is basically horny as shit, to say the least.
Think of her like my Hiranui in the Fatal Fury movie review.
Only it ain't just, only unlike mine, Claire is not limited to just one or two, just one guy. She's after usually several.
Oh, so it's a female. So it's a female man hoe. It's
Yes.
a female woman hoe.
Then we have Benny, a child illegally adopted by Larity to test the company's video games, and is fed a diet of cigarettes, pixie sticks, and bags of pure sugar to stunt his growth and keep him game testing non-stop. Yeah, this is what we were talking about when it comes to illegal shit by Larity. As a result, Benny is constantly hyper and usually spends his time roaming through the building's vents, and also making a side living selling things to employees. No game can be shipped without Benny's approval, which causes the programmers, mostly Dave and Jerry, to keep constantly bribing him with treats and toys. And then we have Clarence, the audio designer, who is basically flamboyantly gay, and sings effectively all of his dialogue, constantly makes blatant references to gay sex, and so on. And apparently can somehow levitate and pass through walls using what was quoted in the series as, and nobody shoot me for this one, it was actually quoted as gay magic. Again, this was literally what was stated in the series. Occasionally, Clarence also pitches games to the company as well, and that's all the major characters. Basically put, as for the series itself, according to G4's own president, the first season was a massive success for the network, and during its first season, the show was watched by over 20 million people. But since then, it's gotten mixed reviews. Basically put, one reviewer literally stated that the show is a promising idea with gags told in a South Park style dialect, which has a fast free-for-all quality. Another one says basically it was wasted potential, so to speak. Also went on to say that those hope G4 could actually deliver something watchable, but Code Monkeys is not it. Ouch. So yeah, mixed reviews all around. A lot of people saying it was good, and a lot of people saying it was bad.
I guess we could get in some characters out of the way, but any favorite characters?
Honestly, I guess to a degree, Dave. Just Dave in his own right is very disturbing. Let's be honest.
That's your favorite?
But no absolute favorites on this one. Sorry.
What about you, Cassie?
Me too.
Honestly, I have a favorite, and it's freaking Dave. He makes me laugh the most.
I wonder
Of
why.
Mostly Dave hilarity, to be honest with you, because those two are fucking crazy and hilarious.
You're not wrong. Especially for one certain line in the fucking end of the series.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else? Like, favorite episodes, anyone?
It's hard to decide because they were all good in their own way, and I try to remember most of the episodes.
I kind of like the one where, Jerry thinks that like everyone's mad at him, and then he tries to apologize to them.
Oh God!
I mean,
I know which one you
'cause
mean.
it kind of, yeah, because it's kind of relatable.
Yeah, I can see why you would think that. Because, no offense, Crossy, but you have that same issue as well.
Yeah,
But at least we're working on that.
though I'm still learning nonetheless.
For me, it's a toss-up between two specific episodes. And Crossy, you might want to kill me for this one. One of the favorites was the episode Dave Gets Boobs.
No! No!
Mainly because of just how utterly ridiculous it was.
Oh, no! No!
I can't believe I'm having half my paycheck taken away as a titty tax!
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Retro Warriors, Hazard has been disarmed.
No, the fuck I haven't! But yeah. Also, the other episode is actually The Revenge of Matsui, which was the season finale for season 1. I actually enjoyed that one because it was a reference to Ninja Gaiden in a twisted way, along with Nintendo itself. I mean, okay, but long story short, like, those were the episodes that stood out the most to me. The ones that would be a close second would have to be, let me think. Well, you're not wrong, Crossy. The Drunken Office Party was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That was a very hilarious episode. That, and one episode, while it gets an honorable mention from me, was the time Larry had to get ass surgery. There is a story behind that one, guys. I suggest checking it out for yourself. I would not recommend it for those who are easily offended, though. What do you guys think? What will be your favorite episode, Justin? Because I know Crossy already mentioned hers.
There was a couple. There was a lot of good ones. But I will say, most likely that one time when they were in gamer convention and stuff. That was.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. The Vegas baby episode, actually. Yeah, that's the one I know you're talking about. That was hilarious in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I think about it, there was one more episode I was gonna count as a favorite, but considering the other ones, there was also the time they had wrestlers in the series at one point. It was only for one episode, but still. But moving on, any favorites, like any not so favorite moments, like least favorite episodes?
You already know mine.
Honestly, I don't think I could say there's any least favorites for me, because I honestly enjoy the series through thick and thin.
Fair enough. Crossy, I'm assuming the one that you're talking about you don't care for was Dave Got Boobs.
It was so weird! It was so fucking weird!
If you think about
Honestly, I like that episode because that was fucking funny.
Like I said, I liked the episode only because of how ridiculous it was. I figured, I'm not gonna lie, Cross, I figured you would have said the same about that Larry Got Back episode, like when he got ass surgery.
Shut
Baby
up!
got back.
Why? I was trying to avoid that joke.
Well, too bad. I'm doing it for you because baby got back.
Oh my God, Justin. Moving
Ladies
on.
and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, please don't get mad if this is the last episode of Retro Warriors you see here.
But yeah, let's keep going on this one. Like, the series is basically just 2 seasons, 26 episodes. Needless to say, this series still left an impact to this day, at least in my book.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Crossy being unfortunately very new to the series and not knowing what she was in for, yeah, don't be surprised if she's basically mentally scarred for this episode.
Hey! Ah!
And then there was one moment we watched in the near at one point in the series where Justin basically had this has to be called Justin's catchphrase for watching this Code Monkeys. Put your damn dick away!
Yeah. Yeah. Even though Dave's my favorite character, I just always, when I first watched that episode, when I first watched the series with Hazard on our own time, when Crossy was off or asleep, I remember, and Dave had his fucking dick green, I basically screamed and said without any time at all, no second thoughts about it, just I simply shouted and said, "Put your damn green tiny dick away!" I screamed it like Vegeta, I said it like Vegeta, I basically said, "Put your damn dick away!"
And it was episode 2.
Please do. Honestly, I think at this point, like, there's not really much to go on for this series. Like, oh, just one little side note. One of the voice actors specifically was also the voice of another notable character that you guys may remember from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. The guy who basically voices the Bats hated douche known as Todd, who was Dana Snyder, by the way, also voiced Shake in Aqua Teen Hunger Force because, yeah, and to be fair, Justin spotted the voice faster than I did, only because I wasn't paying full attention to it at the time.
When you hear the voices a lot, you kind of make the comparisons. It's kind of easy to pick up.
Besides, friends stick together. Mikey's with us. If you arrest him, you'll have to arrest all of us.
Oh, come on, Grandpa. Don't be so by the book.
I would not have predicted this. No way.
True.
That's all I got.
But yeah, as I stated before, the series was created by Adam De La Pena, who was also one of the voice actors. And one can only imagine what he was thinking when he made this series. Possibly for shits and giggles, possibly because he had some twisted idea he wanted to try out and basically, you know, show the world to. Who knows? No one knows how that guy thinks.
My question is, who is he voicing?
Dave. He voiced Dave.
Awesome.
I wish I was kidding. But yeah,
Anyway.
he voiced Dave.
I think that's everything we need to talk about. Is that right, guys?
Yeah, it was just a lot of non-stop South Park style randomness throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
Randomness that I'm not sure if Crossy was ever prepared for.
Nope. But a lot of good video game references, though, I will admit.
True, and some guest stars. Some of the guest
Pretty
stars
much.
mostly being major video game programmers and creators, so there you go. I don't remember their
even some
names at the
jokes?
moment, but yeah. They did
There's
guest
even
star, like there were some God of War references, some Oddworld references, and so on.
Mm-hmm. And there were some joke guest stars, like Michael Jackson and the guy who made E.T.
Oh, can we not talk about the E.T. game? That was terrible no matter what. And if you pay attention to some of Code Monkey's episodes, specifically some of their content, once you get past all the insanity, you'll notice that a lot of them were basically references or making fun of certain video game controversial topics. Like how basically there was the whole video games promoting violence bullshit.
And the whole video game crash of 85 or 83.
It was 83 if I remember right.
Shit.
No, you're the one who told me about it, so you would know.
Yeah, cause they saw a G4 episode.
Yeah, back when G4 was still cool in my book.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think the question to
Anyway.
ask, and Justin usually asks this question.
Yep. Basically, does this show still hold up? Abso-fucking-lutely.
I think it does. But if it were to ever be renewed or rebooted, I imagine that some of the jokes would have to be toned down.
Yeah, or if it become a YouTube series, it will probably be very toned down because of how
I'm
YouTube is.
fairly sure the episodes are on YouTube still. You just have to find them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll just have
but
to have good luck. But I'm sure there's some websites on Google that will also help. But and anyway, but we definitely recommend you guys checking this out for yourself. But it's honestly a good show. I give it a 10 out of 10 to be honest with you.
I give it a 9 out of 10, mainly because there are certain episodes I did not care for. But it was still an enjoyable series in my book. Some of the jokes were just that crazy enough that I ended up just laughing myself half to tears. Like I said, once you get past some of the humor, if you're not like, I still would not recommend to anyone who's like, very oversensitive about certain topics mentioned. But I would recommend regardless to those who, might be interested in looking it up. But be forewarned though, guys, it can get as twisted as South Park. You've been warned. So you can't really blame us if you decide to check it out. You don't like what you see.
Yeah, but though, if you guys seen South Park, this isn't too far off from that kind of craziness. Even though South Park is a little more intense, but it kind of holds up to almost to the torch of that. But we do recommend you check it out.
Pretty much. Crossy, what rating would you give it?
brain explosion out of 10.
Brain explosion?
It's mindfuckery.
You're not wrong.
But in my honest opinion, I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Hey.
Like I said, there were certain episodes I just didn't care for, which is why I gave it a 9 out of 10. They were still enjoyable, don't get me wrong, it's just I didn't care for them personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think it's safe to say we pretty much have, like, all of this, covered. Like, we can't really properly explain this series, to be honest with you guys. Like, that's why we were saying you should probably check it out yourselves. Anything else you guys want to say on this? Because I got nothing.
We're pretty much on everything that we gotta say. What about you, Crossy?
Yeah, I mean, I recommend the show. I mean, that's all I gotta say because usually these retro reviews take a while. But, yeah.
Yeah. Again, if they seem to take a while, guys, it's just when we get busy, it's just hard to keep up. But we do our best.
Our schedule is kind of making it a bit of a mess, to be fair.
Yeah,
but we do try to make time. We usually set up a binge watching day, like to watch as much as we can.
But anyway, I think that's a good stopping point. I hope you all enjoyed this. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. This will most likely be on Crossover's channel, and someone has a channel. The playlist, there's a playlist on my channel if you guys want to watch all the Retro Warriors stuff, so that way you don't miss it. And we hope you enjoy this. Any final words, guys?
This series was still hilarious from start to finish. I mean, it had its low moments, but what series doesn't? And honestly, if it came out to the most disturbing character, that easily goes to Todd. With Dave being a very, very close second.
Yep.
Also, before I
forget,
would not recommend for any children, period.
No.
So yeah, that's my closing statement. Anything you guys got?
Yeah. But that's about it, guys. We'll probably catch you on the next retro review, because who knows what we're gonna review. You don't, but we will. But you'll find out at the end of this episode, as always. But anyway, like I said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends and family, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a wonderful vid, and be sure to subscribe to Crossover Fanatic and Hazard Chaos and me on Bardock Elite Fighters channel, so that way you can all enjoy our wonderful content that we do for you, and we all love you all, our fellow Retro Warriors, and we shall see you all next time.
Later!
See ya!
Later! For the next time on Retro Warriors.
To the power of the pack!